we'll see how she goes. We still have a little bit of snake to go and then plenty of swamp. And what are you carrying, my friend? A wand of ice blast. Oh, my, you shouldn't have, my dear pal. Fortunately, no sharpshooters here, so we can generally just keep up with my new favorite strategy of treating IMB as an auto fight key. Sure, I'm burning through health at a wildly prodigious rate, but generally works out. I mean, there we actually ran into a bit of trouble because we had a mited Naga in a less than ideal spot. But fortunately, not the end of the world. You son of a gun. How dare you? Sorry, just very rude of our new salamander friends to knock us off the stairwell. I hate to see it, but I guess not everyone can be as selfless as us. I say as I murder all the native inhabitants of the snake branch here. As we so often love to clarify, we are indeed the good guys. Spreading freedom, one branch at a time. One blast at a time, baby. Oh, I didn't even realize I'm not paying attention. The sharpshooters do be out here, for sure. We could always use like fear scrolls. I guess I could even condenser vein if I wanted to just see what happens. Have you changed? Roaring flames, freezing vapors, poisonous gas. Noxious fumes and poisonous gas. I mean, I understand that they're definitely different from a semantics point of view, but in this context, I'm curious what the difference is. But the main thing I was looking at is it's not consistent anymore. We got all sorts of fun and exciting clouds surrounding us here today, so that's interesting. But let's try to kill that sharpshooter first and foremost. Fantastic. And then the rest of you, we can kind of take care of the old-fashioned way. In fact, the clouds do work out very nicely for just forcing all of our enemies into that fiery cloud as we IMB them into the next plane of existence. That's fantastic. And then return to form of just spamming. In fact, okay, I'm spamming a little much here. Let's maybe be slightly cognizant of how low our health is getting. Oh man, I feel like between how much I've been working lately and how much time I've been spending on my computer, I'm in a very, very comfortable chair. But my butt is sore as hell, specifically my tailbone. So I should definitely stretch my legs a little bit as soon as we wrap up for the evening here. Ooh, another artifact falchion. This time around, not quite as nice of a stat stick, so I think we'll just say nay, leave it by the wayside, and continue onwards and upwards. Here we go. This has got to be where the snakes call home, eh? Well, hopefully a large contingent of you have already come our direction in the earlier encounters, I should say. And yeah, doing sharpshooter, I see ya. I see you over there, looking to ruin our entire career. I get it. Jealousy is not a good color on you, my snake friend, but still fair enough. So the Djinni comes through just absolutely steamrolling the majority of your friends. Can be a tough pill to swallow, to say the least, but speaking of, let's get a couple of prisms set up here. I actually wanted more, but all these hasted archers are a significant problem in our books, so just want to keep that in the back of our minds and make sure that I'm not overstaying my welcome any further than I should. Beautiful work for the fulminant prisms there. Now I know why I hire you, kiddos. And that just about does it. We do hit that skill cap we set for fighting earlier. I mean, we definitely saw some tower shields here in Snake. I'm trying to remember if we've seen too many kite shields over our journey, because it could be worth it to start training a little bit further in that department. Otherwise, spellcasting maybe? Turn fighting back on, crank that buddy all the way to the max. Evocations, also something to be said for that. File Floods, Lightning Rod, and Condenser Vein are all relatively useful pieces of equipment. And then, of course, just having a nice array of wands always makes sense to train Evo. At least coming from me, who's generally a pretty big fan of that side of the game. And what else? What else? Ooh, I did not realize we got Orb of Destruction. That is fantastic. It is starting to show that we're a little bit behind the curve, so I think we will actually train up our spellcasting a bit. And could focus these and continue fighting in the background. Exactly as theirs. Yeah, more HP is just huge net positive. So no matter what, we will be maxing out fighting. It's just a question of when rather than if. I guess I could turn it on. I probably should put some cap because it will snowball out of control and I won't realize how long it's been without me checking in. So we'll drop that there for the moment here. And hello, my Salamandus friend. And not too shabby. The other thing I did want to do, and I should probably do so before I forget, need to at least murder you. Let's take a look at the shields throughout our dungeon. Like a tower shield of fire resistance is pretty meh. Nothing very exciting there, especially just because we're doing real well in that department right now with this leather armor. Not something that we're working against. Oh, I should probably just wait out the week here as well, so let's do so. Then, okay, this time around, can I do this correctly? I need to lay mines, and then I just have to use our additional speed over these buddies to get a bit fancy with it. I mean, there's no guarantee they step into that one. This one they might shoot before it fully charges. So I'm just trying to balance their slow speed. Okay, we do feel more experience, so that at least was part of the problem taken care of. More experienced again, fantastic. And then the last one we'll just chase down brutally. Perfect, love to see it. And that should now hopefully be the majority of our friends over on this side. I do also have to recall, I now have that Orb of Destruction available, so let's actually even bring that in here somewhere. Can probably replace Searing Ray in our easy to macro keys, or easy keys to hit rather, because of macros. And yeah, okay, that was indeed the final little foray of enemies, and fantastic. First rune under the belt. All in all, nothing too scary here. Trying to think about swamp. I feel like I get swamp so rarely these days. For whatever reason, I'm a shoals magnet. So is there anything in swamp that's especially scary to us? I mean, we definitely need to be careful of the bog bodies and make sure that we don't have cold vulnerability at any point, especially since rhyme drakes can also make a guest appearance on the side. And even though we're way over leveled for fighting a rhyme drake, we're still in the danger zone if we're vulnerable. What other traditional roguelikes have I played? None to the same degree as DCSS. I've very much dabbled across the board, at least trying out a lot of them, but none have really stuck. There are a couple I want to give another chance to, like Cataclysm I barely touched, and I hear such good things, and so many people who are big fans of DCSS are also big Cataclysm players, so that's definitely up there. And then I believe we talked about this a bit last stream. And I was going through like Tales of Maj'Eyal. I played a little bit of back in the day. There are probably a bunch of other ones, but I could not list them off the top of my head. What about you, Bitflipped? Is there anything that stands out to you as a testament to the genre? Okay, if we can potentially not prism too much, I think that will be advantageous. 6 heads on you. I mean, chances are, I was about to say I could very much regret this as we take a bunch of hits going down the stairs, but that's not the end of the world. And then if I could go to dry land, then the Hydra's at least no longer fast enough to make up the push distance that we shove them, so that's a much, much safer approach. You think Wayward and Zorbus are pretty cool. Zorbus is ringing a bell. Wayward, I don't know if I've ever heard of. Is it pretty stereotypical dungeon delving? Is it a bit more on the, like, Cataclysm Maj'Eyal side with an overworld and an expansive kind of adventure that you play out? Because I do think that that is probably one thing that has kept me in DCSS, is sometimes you just want some straightforward sword and board, get to the action, let's get delving. Generally, if I'm looking for the like RPG experience, I'll go to a more modern RPG or a non-roguelike style a lot of the times. I don't know, I'm mostly just talking out of my butt, and chances are, if you ask me another day, I'd say completely different things, but I think because of how busy my past week has been, I'm very much in the zone of, I just need to smash. Let me smash as my Djinn here. Tales of Maj'Eyal is pretty good, though you don't really enjoy how formulaic the approach is once you become familiar with it. Yeah, I probably never got to that point. I was probably still exploring and seeing new things for sure. But you do enjoy the story beats, and it's definitely worth a clear at least once on each story mode. Custom icons are also a huge plus, being able to import whatever you want for your character. Yeah, it gets a bit more of that like role-playing experience. I can get behind that for sure. But Zorbus is more on, or is on the side of the classic dungeon crawling. Very cool. I mean, it has Orb right in the title, so do any Orb skills transfer, do you think? Now, generally there are a decent number of transferable skills between traditional roguelikes, if just at least in the mentality that you take into them, even if they're mechanically quite unique and different. Okay, my swampworm friend. And not too shabby. There we go. Thank you for noticing me. So you're an alligator. Did they add crocodiles? I feel like there's an enemy that can drag you away, or like try to drag you into the water or something. Going off of like a very much a hazy recollection of the release notes when I went through them. But speaking of classic dungeon crawl, have I ever tried Castle of the Winds? I've not. No, that's another one that I don't think I've seen. And then Angband, I definitely am, again, peripherally experienced with. I've tried it, at least. And I always think of that one as well, just because it's one of the more name-dropped roguelikes for sure. But Wayward is a survival crafting. Okay, so that sounds like it would be a bit more in line with your like Cataclysms in that regard, at least in that specific department. Well, that's very cool. You know, I was worried you'd do that, my wormy friend, but not the end of the world here, as we're in a fairly safe spot. And, oh my gosh, there are trees everywhere. Hold up. Okay, I need to take care of you first and foremost. Please come here, thank you. Oh, the alligator drags us backwards. Really blast near my dryad. Dryad, you're gonna be a problem. Unfortunately. I mean, do you care if I hit your trees? Are they magic trees? They're not magic trees. But these ones were predefined in the dungeon. For anyone who wasn't here earlier, I was curious if you could do some fancy maneuvers of replacing walls of the dungeon with trees with this summon forest spell and then burn it down. Potentially should just try it. If we get out of here in one piece, let's tuck that one away for future reference. Otherwise, let's reach out and grab you. Whoa. Snaplasher mine. Is this because you're fancy trees? Vines are too thick to go through? Is that you? Or is that another dryad ability? Oh, Awakened Vines. That would probably be the ticket there. That makes a lot of sense. In retrospect, a bit more obvious than I was giving it credit for. But that should just about do it for us here. And, okay, Awakened Trees or Summon Forest. Pretty dang sick here. You remember some swamp creature that has a javelin-like thing that hits you and pulls you in? Yeah, it's the swamp worms for sure. Can definitely be annoying sons of guns when they catch you unawares, but fortunately, I mean, this character I'm feeling pretty solid about. Whether or not that's actually deserved is maybe another question. Might just have an unrelatable amount of hubris and emotion for Djimmi here, but so far it hasn't been too much of a concern. Hey, Dr. Pirate, how's it going? Hope you're, I was gonna say seaside healthcare is going well, but I mean, if you're on a boat, you are seaside, you're just also sea on top of, I guess? I don't know, my whole brain started shutting down as soon as I started going through the mechanics of it, so I got nothing. Oh, Vile Clutch did not work because you're already clutched. Fair enough. And okie dokie. I mean, otherwise, again, back to being in a relatively comfortable position. I say as I take absurd amounts of damage, but that's fine. To be expected, of course. All part of the adventure here. Let's reach out and grab you, my friend, as soon as you get out of the deep water. Ah, Donald. Shield of Reflection. Okay, so I definitely wish to take that from you, my friend. You're allowed to crackle, snap, crackle, and pop, and all that good stuff. Let us try to cheese this a little. Oh, Donald takes to the water like a fowl. I forgot that you're a part duck, my friend. Well, let's get you out of the deep water, please, sir. If you could step onto dry land, thank you. I appreciate it. Almost sent our shield to the bottom of the ocean. Whoopsie daisies. Yeah, good to see you as well, Dr. Pirate, always. No, and everyone else as well. I hope you're all having a fantastic weekend here. Ready to start the week, or potentially already started the week if you're on the other side of the world. But what was I doing? Right, trying to find what I wish to drop, because we definitely want this Kite Shield of Reflection, and in fact, what we'll probably do is change our Evo down a bit, and let's get these shields popping, shall we? Because I would like to switch over to that Kite Shield as soon as is healthy, I guess. There we go. Evo does hit that cap that we changed it to, so that's fantastic. Just keep reaching out and grabbing you. Again, it's so funny to me knowing on an intellectual level that Vile Clutch got nerfed in this update, and still just feeling like it's stupidly strong. Like, no difference at all. I'm still just able to output some absurd amounts of damage with that son of a gun. But we will just keep knocking you backwards, my friend. What I should have probably done was actually use the What's it called? Orb of Destruction. Seeing as how we've had that unlocked for a little while here and we just have not been touching it. Excuse me, alligator friend. Back off for but a moment. Thank you. Yes, point blank, there's no real reason for me to use it there except to maybe nail something down into my head that is an option for us in the future as well. But I would definitely at least pick up this Ring of Intelligence. I don't see us swapping to it in the near future at least, but it's nice to have in the back pocket just as a backup option. Maybe the Polymorph Wand can hit the deck for now, and let's wrap up Swamp here, shall we? If at all possible. Yes, survival is the first step in that task, but so far we're looking to be doing okay in that department. So if we can just keep that up, keep on keeping on. And I should also just keep in the back of my mind, Summon Forest is stupidly strong here. It does make it tough because I can't tell if these are friendly or angry trees. So maybe we should take care of the shaman here as quickly as possible, or the druid, or whatever that sprig and pal is. Regardless, that is perfect. And fair enough. It's about to step to you anyway, my swampworm friend. Just wanted to get a little bit closer, you know? Always looking to make new buddies, new pals, and fast friends here in the dungeon.